Joy Collier is a California landscape artist, and she's known for her amazing paintings of the giant sequoia trees, the Central Valley and desert regions, as well as abstract nature work. Joy is based in Porterville, which is in Tulare County, and it's a gateway community to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks and Sequoia National Forest and the giant Sequoia National Monument. And she's joining us back on Big Blend Radio today to talk about her current work and upcoming exhibits. And you can go to her new website, joycollier.com, and you can connect to her social media there as well, Facebook and all that good stuff. But welcome back, Joy. How are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful, Lisa. How are you?
Oh, doing good. I'm glad to have you back on. My first question is, are you still painting what smiles at you?
Of course. I mean, I don't think I could paint if it didn't smile at me. I'd have to give up, right?
The giant sequoias, they obviously make you smile a bunch, the giant trees.
I do. They're so dramatic, and their color's so beautiful, and they just stand out. I mean, you know, they're big for one thing, and they have gorgeous color, and they just highlight everything around them. So I love them.
In living in the Central Valley region, you know, like Tulare County, which is pretty amazing because you've got lakes, you've got the forest, but you've also got the foothills, and you really have the valley. And isn't spring like a beautiful time when like all the fruit and nut trees start to bloom? It's kind of an interesting time for people to visit. I know a lot of people visit the area in the summer. They always think, oh, go to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks in the summer. But to me, spring is one of the most beautiful times in your area.
Spring is the best time. It's not so hot and dry, and soon the flowers will be coming out. So, you know, the wildflower, there's a lot of drives that you can take where the wildflowers are blooming. There's lots of lupin and poppies and fiddleneck and all kinds of little wildflowers. And if you go up to the sequoias in the spring, you get to see the dogwoods blooming, and they only bloom up there, and they just are so dramatic against the base of the giant sequoia trees. So it's lovely. Also, there's a huge meadow. If you go to Sequoia National Park, there's a huge meadow called Round Meadow. And if you visit the Upper Visitor Center, it's a short hike down the hill, and they have built a beautiful path that goes around this gigantic meadow. And they keep people out of it now, and it has recovered dramatically because it used to get worn down from people walking in it. And now it just is lush and filled with wildflowers. And the bears love it. When they come out of hibernation, they don't really eat much meat or anything at that time. They really go for the vegetation. And so you can usually always see bears and deer and marmot and weasels, all kinds of animals. So it's fun. And there's wonderful benches. They put benches around the meadow. So it's an easy hike for people who are, you know, impaired a little bit or aren't looking for a real mountain hiking kind of adventure, but just to come up and enjoy it with their families. So it's super. I mean, it's one of my favorite places.
It's one of our favorite hikes, too, the Big Trees Trail and around that meadow. And we've seen bear there. We've seen deer, so many little birds. I mean, it really just sit on the bench and just watch that meadow because it will come to life.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you, Joy, do you ever go and sketch or do any kind of painting outside?
Well, I used to only paint outside. I was really raised in the plein air tradition, but as I got older, it just became really difficult to produce, and I haven't been doing it lately. I usually just go with my cameras and take a lot of photography work and then bring it back to my studio and work. But I don't know. I've had an itch lately, so you just may find me out there somewhere. The problem with it is you got to haul all your gear wherever you go, and you got to just be totally prepared because if you forget anything, then you're stuck. And you know, I mean, it's fun, and there's nothing like painting in plein air. You just see things differently. For one thing, the light's always changing, so your paintings really are a little bit more dramatic and dimensional, especially if you stay in a place for maybe a couple of hours because the light has moved, and you see more of around things than a photograph just snaps a moment. So it can be kind of flat. So.
And you're changing the light. The light's going to change just because of the processing, of photography. I
right.
think digital photography helps. It's a little different now, but there is something magical about being outdoors and just being right in it and having to move with nature as nature changes with light and bugs and birds and everything. I was going to ask, what are you working on now? What's your current painting?
Well, I'm kind of working on a couple of things, and I seem to be focused around bears lately. I don't know. I sold my last bear painting at the Camp Nelson Mountain Festival, and the lady was so thrilled. And I'm doing a large painting of that round meadow with a family of bears in the meadow.
Uh-huh.
I'm
nice.
also doing a couple of bear portraits, which I should have ready for my studio tour in April, which people can come and visit and see, but they'll also be online. So,
yeah, because I know you put your art online too, and everyone. Your colors are so vibrant, and you just capture that essence of the colors of the forest and it just and movement the way you paint, which is, to me. I want giant paintings of your art. Like it should be like you should see like the whole mural, like a whole wall. That's how it should be when I look at your art. But you have all sizes for people though, according to what they want to do for their home.
Well, I start with big paintings mostly. I normally, especially if it's sequoias, because the drama, they're so big. It's hard to paint them small. I don't feel them small. So a friend of mine who had a frame shop actually built me my first 6-foot canvases. She built me 2-by-6-foot canvases. It was quite a few years ago. And I'd start painting the whole tree. And actually, they've been very successful. But the beauty of it is, if you paint a big one, it always can be made smaller as a print. And digital prints are so good. They look just like the originals. In fact, a lot of people think when they buy a print, they're buying an original. I always tell them it isn't, but they don't quite believe me, I don't think, because they look identical. And that's the great thing. Digital printing now is so good.
Hey, why not?
So,
I think that helps for people. I know that, a lot of people that go out to the sequoias fall in love with the sequoias, and it's a nice memory. It's like a way of capturing memory, but it also being something that's, art, and that's something special in itself. And so I think it's a great gift idea, and it's a great way to decorate your home. Why not bring the forest into your living room? That's how I look at it. So I love it. I wanted to touch on, and everyone, you can go to joycollier.com, and she's also on Facebook as well. And but you were talking about this studio tour that's coming up, and it's called the South Valley Studio Tour. I know it happens every couple of years in April. This year, 2018, it's April 14th and 15th. So this is so exciting. I know Three Rivers has their first Saturday art. It's where people drive around and go to different artist studios and restaurants and things, which is a great way to see the region. With this, it incorporates all of Tulare County, so it's Visalia, Porterville, where you are, Three Rivers, everywhere, right? Tulare, all of it.
It is. That and Three Rivers. They participate also. So all of the artists that you can see, there's actually going to be 40 artists have signed up this year. And they've changed the rules a little, so they allow artists that haven't signed up to participate also, like they can be at the Porterville Art Association, or maybe they have some locations in Visalia and Lindsay where they can also team up so that they don't have to have people come to their homes if they don't feel like they have a studio to show people. So
nice.
I think it's going to broaden the experience. People will get to see a lot more art. And I'm really quite excited about it. I think it's going to be a big success. So,
well, I love that Tulare because there's so many, like Exeter is like Mural City. I love how
right,
Exeter is just
right.
so colorful, telling the story of the region, and you see all the the history of agriculture and the natural beauty of the parks on the walls and the history of the peoples. And I think Tulare does it, Porterville does it. I mean, so there's this really cool
Exeter,
tie-in.
Lindsay, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
all of this region, the small communities, all have a lot of mural art, and they're beautiful. I mean, they really are quite extraordinary. So they put a lot into it to draw attention to their little communities. So if any of you out there are looking for an adventure, April, you'll see the wildflowers, you can see the sequoias, you can see all of the art. It's a great place to come.
And there's a lot of good food. I have to say,
there's always good food.
Good food, good shopping. I mean, this is the way to get out and celebrate spring as far as I'm concerned. You got a little bit of everything, the historic downtowns now. Are you opening your studio, or are you going to be showing at the Porterville Art Association?
No, I'm going to have my own studio open, so they can come right up to my house, and I have what used to be a detached garage as my studio, and I will have all my art on display. And they can come. It'll be fun because I can show them how I set up a painting and how I use, how I do layout work. I can show them all the different levels of the process I go through, and
nice.
It's for 2 days, so we've got, I can put a lot of stuff outside. I have 2 tents and racks, and it'll be great.
Oh, nice.
I think people would enjoy it. And they can ask me anything they want. So.
Uh-oh. You never know.
Uh-oh. Well, I didn't say an answer. No, I did. Anything about art and nature.
Well, that's the thing I want to tell people, too. I mean, you know the region very well, and as an artist, you get to really know the natural habitats as you're painting and observing. And so I know over the conversations we've had with you over the years and meeting you in person that you know the sequoias. So I think it's a really neat time. And I know your friend also, she's a docent, Nancy's taken people out, including Nancy and I. She's taken us out on the trails, like the Trail of Giants up in Sequoia National Forest. So this is just such a great time for people to learn about, the nature, and I think, to learn about art, to see what is that artist process, and you you have more value for the art when you realize just how much goes into a painting, no matter what size. And it's like, Joy, everybody thinks that the smaller the painting, the easier, right? That's not really true.
Well, not necessarily. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
And it's, you just use a bigger canvas, you use a bigger brush. It's not really all that much different, really. But it depends on the complexity of the composition and how many elements you include. And sometimes things just don't work out the way you want, so it'll take a little longer. Other times it just breezes through. It just happens. So I don't know if there's a real formula. People always ask me how long it takes me to do a painting, and I can't really tell them. I mean, sometimes it only takes me a week or something, and sometimes I don't do things in an hour. I mean, I don't do anything in an hour. But, I mean, I could do a study in an hour, a small study, but I don't really work that way. Because I care so much about form, that it takes some analysis to get your eye to travel through the form in the picture, and I don't know. I'm just that's how I was trained, so
and then the one thing too with your website, I know that this is your website's being completely renovated and will be up by, you get to celebrate by the time the studio tour comes around with this. But it's kind of interesting because people love their art, and especially if we want the sequoias in our house. But do designers ever work with you because of being able to do this kind of printing that is available now for people to have it on whatever kind of medium they want it for their house, whatever size of the painting?
Absolutely.
Do you work with designers? Oh, nice.
Yes. Yes, and you know, I got to tell you some of the features of my new website, which is so exciting to me. I'm hooked up with a printer, a very big printer in Texas, and they can print my prints any size you want, from a postage stamp up to, I think the width is 54 inches wide. So, you know, they can be huge. We can do almost mural walls. And so they can choose anything, but they also can choose any medium, like meaning it can be printed on canvas and it'll look like the original painting. But it can also be printed on metal or paper, so it could be matted and framed. And this particular website, you're going to be able to click on a painting you like, and they have a wall preview tool. You can choose the room to display it in, okay, and you get a choice of a bedroom, a conference room, a dining room, all these different choices. You can see the picture in the room proportioned to the size you choose, okay? So you can change the sizes to make it balanced right, and you can choose the wall colors. I mean, they give you a whole grid, and you can pick any wall color. And they're using all the latest designer wall colors. So like House and those other decorator sites, this totally competes with that. So you can it gives you a better understanding of what you're getting and what the proportions are. And I don't know. I'm really excited, as you probably can tell. I'm just excited.
That's exciting. It's changed. I mean, the world has changed, and you think about art through, you know, someone connecting with you online. I mean, that's pretty amazing what can happen now. I mean, the digital world, you know, we complain about, we're all in front of a screen, but, you know, it's about balance, and then you've got these amazing, cool tools like that. So I think that's exciting. So I want to give everyone your website again. It's joycollier.com. And one thing I do want to just let people know, which I think is really awesome, is that you donate 10% of your art sales, prints and the originals, to different park organizations, right?
Right. Whatever foundation, like if it's the Sequoia Forest, like the Trail of 100 Giants or something, if I painted an image from there, the money goes to their foundation. If it's from the National Park, Sequoia National Park, they have a foundation. So it's linked with where the image came from. I want the money to go to the people who teach people about the place. They create the maps. They do the guided tours. There's just a lot of things they do. They do bear boxes so people, you know, the bears don't get into people's stuff when they're camping. And it protects the bears and it protects the people. So, I mean, there's just a lot of things the foundations can do that the parks can't do. So it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
They're the friends, they're the supporters, and like the Sequoia Conservancy, and there's just so many great organizations out there, and I love that you do that. And so I know that right now this is it, because you love the outdoors. You're actually calling from Lake Success, and you know, that's a beautiful area. And you know, wintertime is also really interesting in your region, how it starts to green up with rain sometimes, and depending on what's going on. But is it Golden Hills out there right now, or are you getting some of the greenery?
Pretty gold. We haven't had much rain this year, so the ground is a little bit of green, a hint of green, but not a lot. Just the hills are pretty dry. But you know,
it's still pretty.
If you look at some of my Central Valley paintings, you'll see they have. I call it the Moods of Mine Hill. I live across from a hill. And, I mean, from moment to moment, it changes. The oaks look different against the hill. They can be blues in winter and greens in spring. And, I mean, just so many different colors. And you'd think it's actually kind of boring, these dry hills. But it isn't. It's very dynamic, and it changes all the time. So that's nice. The beauty of being out here. I mean,
I love
why
your
I live here.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful area. Like I was saying, you've got the historic downtowns, you've got the agriculture around you, you've got the giant trees, you've got the lakes, the rivers. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful out there, and it's not far from San Francisco or L.A. and get out of the traffic and go hang out in the Sequoia region. The one thing before you go is we've got a beautiful puzzle, jigsaw puzzle. We love doing the puzzles, these online jigsaw puzzles of your art. We have one of a bear that is up on nationalparktraveling.com. So if you go to that website, just type in Joy Collier, and you'll see that puzzle. You can listen to her previous radio interview and piece the puzzle together. But now we have a new one going up on blendradioandtv.com. It's a new puzzle, and this one is the wet meadow in the giant forest. And so the giant forest is right near where you were talking about. It's pretty near the first area when you come in through Sequoia National Park from the gateway through Three Rivers. The giant forest is pretty much the first main visitor bureau, right, or center, I should say.
Right.
Up
right.
there.
The visitors.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, this is a beautiful, beautiful painting. And so, is this more of a spring time when it's all the
right?
snow
It was
melting?
just after the snow melted last year, and we had this winter we haven't had much snow, but last winter we had a lot of snow, and I had the luxury of going up during the snow. But when I went back after the snow started to melt, the meadow was full of water. It was really
beautiful.
Beautiful. It was the first time I'd ever seen it like that. So
beautiful,
yeah.
Beautiful. Well, people are going to have fun putting the puzzle together. Everyone, again, the event, the South Valley Studio Tour out in Tulare County, again, is April 14th through 15th, 2018. It happens every 2 years, so make plans to go because you don't have to try next year because it's not happening. So it's every 2 years.
Right.
This
That's
is a
true.
big region, and to gather all the artists and get everything. It's a big event. So the website for that is artconsortium.org. artsconsortium.org. So it's arts with an S on it, artsconsortium.org. Also, if you keep up with Joy, go to her Facebook page. It's Joy Collier Art, and you can keep up with her there as well. We appreciate you giving us a heads up on the event, and it's always great to chat with you, Joy. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm thrilled, and I hope everybody can come out and visit during the art studio tour. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah, go out there, have good food, have good art experiences, go shopping in historic downtowns, go take a hike, go see wildflowers. I mean, really, and all the bears are starting to come out, the birds are playing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. April is such a gorgeous time. It's one of my favorite times, and that's when the citrus starts to bloom, and it's intoxicating. It smells so good.
Right.
So
that's true.
it is. It's magic. It's magic. So everyone, joycollier.com. Thanks, Joy. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day playing out in nature.
I will. Thank you. It's a lovely day. Bye, everybody.